Good morning, everybody. Hi, it's Ben Baker from Your Brand Marketing coming to you live from the Your Living Brand show. I'm excited. This is our first show. This is our first show live. We're using a technology called BeLive.tv. It is absolutely phenomenal, and I'm really excited to be using this. I want to be able to tell you a little bit about our show before I bring our guest on. I'm really excited about having Rachel. My philosophy behind this show is that every single brand is unique. Every single brand has a story to tell. Every single brand has something that makes them special. And the reason I want to have this show, and it's going to be every Wednesday at 10 o'clock in the morning at YourLIVINGBrand.live. Now, the reason I want to have this show is to be able to showcase different companies. I want to be able to find out what's their story, what makes them passionate, who are their customers, what do they do? And you know what? Rachel is going to be our phenomenal first guest. Rachel Moore. Hey, Rachel, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Ben?
Excellent. Rachel was really kind to have me on her show, 2 months ago now? Has it been 2 months?
I guess it has. That went by really fast.
It went extremely fast. I think it was the beginning of April, and you know, it was a lot of fun. We just sat there and yammered for about an hour.
We did,
and we had a really good time. What Rachel's show is, well, you're going to tell me all about your show, so we'll let you have that story. But she was kind enough to have me on her show, and I figured, you know what, who else would I have as a first guest other than the fabulous Rachel Moore?
Oh my goodness, you're giving me a lot to live up to for this whole show.
Well, you know what, it's pressure, so we got to have pressure. So we're going to do this. So by the way, we are being broadcast live on Facebook right now.
That's right.
And there's Rachel's Facebook. Log in. So if you want to catch her live at any given time, she is absolutely phenomenal. Her show is a lot of fun, and we're going to start off this show by saying, you know what, Rachel, this is what the standard line of the story is. Mm-hmm. What is your story?
My story. So if you guys can't tell, I'm an extrovert. And thus I'm someone who really likes to come into a room and figure out who my new friends are going to be. I know that not everybody is that way. So first of all, I want to give a shout out to introverts and stuff, and people who are not extreme extroverts. You probably are. I'm probably the person when you first meet me, you're like, oh God, you stress me out. But I do. I just really like to come into any room, whether it's with my family or my friends or strangers, and just feel like, well, what connections can we make with this? And I'm not trying to be trite about that. It really is. Sometimes you come into spaces where people have some animosity or discomfort or something. My dad's always called me the glue in the room, which I really take as a compliment, because it's trying to like bridge, discomfort and say, well, hey, can we get on some common ground here and not be afraid and not be, uncomfortable with each other, but find those common grounds which make people comfortable, even if you are an introvert. But so the story of my brand is that with being an extrovert, I took, and some of you may be able to relate to this, when I graduated high school, I didn't go to college or graduate college right away. I took the 20-year bachelor's degree.
Good for you.
Thank you. I, just really wanted to experience. And mostly that just meant that I worked a ton of jobs, sometimes 3 or 4 at a time, where I'm just trying to make ends meet because I didn't have a degree. But through all those jobs and experiences I created through working through offices and stuff, I really realized that I love communicating with people. I love, again, creating opportunities, encouraging dialogue and discussion, not shutting the room down, but opening it up. And I, along the way, encountered social media and realized this is just my love. I was the kid when I was young. My parents would bring home, this is going to date me, guys, a VCR, which is what we used to watch movies on. And they'd hand me the VCR in the court, say, Rachel, go hook this up to the TV. So I was the tech geek in the family. And social media brought together tech and communication and creativity in a way I'd never seen anything do that before. So I knew that's something I wanted to do. Well, through learning that and through working for 10 years in social media, I finally came to the point where I was 40 and wasn't hitting the trajectory upward that I wanted for my career. And I'm like, I could start my own business and do this. I know all this stuff and I could help people do it and be my own boss and be the boss of others, perhaps. So That gave birth to my company, which is Really Social, Really Social Incorporated, and on our website is really.social. We're one of those interesting custom domains, but I felt like, I really am social. As I mentioned, I'm a total extrovert. I love just connecting with people on multiple platforms and in person. I want to help other people get to be really social. They may have no clue how to be social use their brand on social media. I can help with that. And then the last part of that is that I'm a real person. I really am. What you see is what you get, guys. I'm awkward. Sometimes I'm, obnoxious. Sometimes I hang back. Thank you. That's what I'm going for. But yeah, when you talk to me, you get the real me. And I will fess up the first moment if I make a mistake. I'll be like, oh, that was a big oops. So all of that to bring me to today. I really just want to I'm using really a lot. Really just want to help people be really social because that's what my company is and that's my brand.
That's cool. So what do you feel makes you unique in the marketplace? I mean, what is your secret sauce?
So many social media companies out there are very much, hey, let's take that for you. Well, Ben, you've got a Facebook page. Let's if you don't have time to do that, let's do that for you. Don't you worry your little head about how it all works. We'll just take it hands off and we'll just tell you the things that we're doing and you just trust us. And that's totally okay because there are quite a lot of very good social media managers out there. However, there are quite a lot of people who have a Facebook profile for a year and think, ooh, I could just market this and I'll be a social media manager for brands. And and I know that you can't just go from one day using Facebook and sharing links out from BuzzFeed to the next day saying, I know how to market your brand on social media.
Right.
And one thing that my company does is we offer training. We like to train people if they want to know and be empowered with the knowledge of how Facebook works. We'll train them. We prefer that actually. It's one right. Jordan's saying no, that you really can't do that, and some people think they can, and unfortunately, I think a lot of abuse happens where good social media managers are not being valued because of the people who don't know what they're doing. But we try to train people because I find that sometimes, when I am trying to educate someone saying, no, there's so much more to social media than me posting a link on your Facebook page, way more. That's maybe 10% of it. And then if I train them, suddenly they're like, oh my gosh, there's way more to this. I don't have time to do this. And oftentimes that will lead to a customer for me, or even better, maybe they don't want to hire me, but they know they need to hire or have someone in their office do the social media.
Right.
Now they know enough to say, I'm not going to get hosed by the person I hire. They can't just tell me platitudes about, vanity metrics and engagement and make me happy. I know that I need to have them dig deep into analytics and tell me what's the ROI and here's how to set that up and how to track all that stuff. So that's what we like to do, is just empower people to say, at any time, let's talk about this and how this is actually all working. Because I think, and you probably agree with this, the best brands on social media are when people within the brand are actually using social media effectively. I can do it for people 24/7, but man, you get a CEO on Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn and they're actually posting themselves. Oh my gosh, that just does huge leaps forward that just a mere manager could not do. So we really like empowering people so that it's not such a mystery to people.
Oh, exactly. It's teaching people how to fish.
Yes.
It's not fishing for people. It's teaching them how to fish. The more we can teach people how to be authentic on social media and how to do it right, first of all, the better social media is going to be out there, and we don't get just that noise.
Exactly.
I mean, you and I both know how much noise there is out in the social media marketplace.
Right.
It's thank God we're not 10 years ago where I'm going to the bathroom now. Oh, I just had lunch, or I'm going down to the grocery store now, and at least we're beyond that point. We've matured as a social media environment where that no longer exists. But social media is something that is a tool.
Yeah.
And it's like a hammer or a screwdriver, whatever. And if you don't use it properly, it's totally and absolutely ineffective.
Agreed. Well, and it's so funny you bring that up. When I first got on Twitter in 2008, I actually left it right away because I saw tweets like that. I went and followed some friends and this one friend of mine just I'm waiting in line at Starbucks, deciding if I should get a latte or whatever. And then 5 minutes later, I went with the latte. Now I'm waiting and just hopefully make it fast. I'm like, oh my God, I don't need a play-by-play. Just share the picture of your latte and move on.
Exactly.
And it's just that minutia of stuff. And like, okay, this really isn't what I want. I mean, if nowadays you can do Snapchat and show people that, but still there's got to be some value to that. And you absolutely can use social media to add value and not noise. And so, yeah, all about that.
Yeah, cool. So who are your best customers?
My best customers tend to be kind of the smaller businesses. And I'm talking like, usually it's under 20, like 25 employees or under. These are the lean, mean startups or small businesses that are trying to do a lot with a little. Okay. And that's one reason I really dig social. When I first got into it, I was working for a company that had very little PR money. And so we needed to do a lot with a little. And Facebook page was a great way to do that. The cost was the time invested in putting it together and putting posts out on it, and developing those relationships. But it's a great way for businesses, particularly small ones, to get known, get out there, to publish their own content, to go beyond your website where, okay, well, we put it out on our .com, nobody's visiting. I really look at social like, your .com is your house, it's on a lot, you've got an address, people know where to mail. Social really is like posting flyers way farther out from your house and letting people know, hey, we're having a house party here. You're doing it, on a flyer, you're maybe sending carrier pigeons or texting people or whatever. It's that way of just getting the word out broader. And it's so effective. Everybody's using it, guys. Facebook is like the most used social platform on the planet. And they have ridiculous analytics, and they really track everything. I know that makes people nervous, but it's true. But what a tool to be able to get the people, the eyeballs you need on your business. And so I liked helping small businesses do that, where, it's crucial for them. Every dollar, every client is crucial. Sometimes it can make or break them if they don't have that extra client. If we can help get them that through just knowing a little bit more about how to use social and using it in the right way on the right platforms for that business, then I've just helped a small business in the United States of America, and I feel really good about that. So.
Yeah, good for you. It's probably also teaching people how to listen to and how to respond as well.
Oh gosh, yes.
Because it's not just a broadcast platform. It's it's a listen. It's called social media for a reason. Yeah. The first word is social. You got to be able to respond to people, and you have to have a communication, two-way communication with those people that love you.
Well, and you bring up a great point. It really is an educational thing. I mean, traditional marketing there've been billboards. You put a billboard on the highway, or you do a billboard downtown, or you do an article or an advertisement in a newspaper or a magazine or a direct mail piece. That's all outward broadcasting. It's not relational, where you can't have someone real time ask you a question and say, oh, I have a question. You have an event you're doing. Is there going to be childcare provided, or are you going to have food there? Is this for me? And you can't do that if you just are pushing the message out. Social makes it so nice to start a convo about it, to say, oh, well, you asked me a question, totally relevant question, I'm going to answer it. Oh gosh, anyone else wondering about that question? I'm going to read that now. It's perfect. So it really does escalate to this. I feel like it takes us back to the days, which kind of helps, when you're talking about traditional marketing or sales. Say, you guys remember when you used to go have business lunches and that's how you closed a deal, because you were able to sit and talk to a person? Mm-hmm. That's the same thing as social. And it's really hard for people to get their mind around that, saying, well, yeah, but it's digital. It's not the same. It's like, it pretty much is the same nowadays, because everybody's hanging out on social media. It's a sales and marketing tool.
Well, I mean, you walk down the street and it's amazing how many people you bump into, because they're sitting there going like this, with their phone in front of their face and walking down the street. 60 to 70% of the world responds to you mobily.
Yeah.
And that's reality. The reality is that 60 to 70% of the people are out there doing it mobily. Mm-hmm. So they're waiting for a response. Yeah. They're sitting there going, okay, I'm not at my desk maybe, and then walking up down the street and then, going for lunch. No, my phone is sitting there right in front of me all the time. So if I ask you a question on social media, I'm actually looking for a response.
Exactly. And oh my gosh, that stat blows my mind. Did you know 9 out of 10 questions posed to a brand online go unanswered?
Yeah.
And to me, that's like, and I use this analogy a lot, that's like you having a donut shop with a counter, and someone comes in and they say, hey, do you have any fresh chocolate raised donuts today? And you just ignore them. You just totally ignore that customer. Why would you do that? They want to pay for chocolate raised donuts. You seriously telling me you don't want them to pay you for the donuts? But because they're on social, it doesn't matter. Give me a break. You're saying goodbye to, and thank you. Social suicide. Yes, it is absolutely social suicide.
Absolutely. There we go. There's the key word. Good going, Jordan. That's perfect. I love that phrase.
It is. It's, oh my gosh. And I just think brands don't realize that that's a whole customer base they're missing out on. And that customer is going to come in and say, yeah, I reached out to you on social and nobody answered. Oh, we didn't know we were on social media. Oh my God. Well, yes, you are.
It's the same as having an info at whatevercompany.com. You send out your emails and you never get a response. How often do you spend time talking to that customer or that company if they can't even respond to your request?
It's ridiculous. Yeah. And that's wasted dollars. And that's where you have to talk to brands about that. You are missing money.
Yeah.
Money.
Huge money.
Huge money being missed.
So the next question is how do you effectively communicate with your clients?
Well, I have a process I do. I obviously am on social media. I've got a website, really.social. I use Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube as my primary 4 outlets for my social media for my company. But that said, I train people in social media. So I'm in all the platforms. I'm on Snapchat also. I'm on Periscope. I'm on Foursquare. I'm on TripAdvisor. I kind of immerse in all those. And guys, that's just some of them. There are a ton more. And it's impossible to be on all of them, but
absolutely
communities develop. And that's really where I do it. I communicate through those communities where we just get in chats. For those of you who are not on Twitter, I get it. I get if Twitter's not your bag and you're like, I don't really get it. But my gosh, the networking that happens on Twitter and in Twitter chats is phenomenal. If you want to look at one platform that really drops any obstacles between you connecting with any other person, it's Twitter. You can follow and add people to lists without even following them, just to let them know you're watching them or looking at what they're putting out, and you create those bridges right away without having to add a friend or go through that whole rigmarole and stuff. Twitter is such an immediate connection. But I honestly I like the face-to-face stuff too. I have a networking group I go to each week that it's with BNI, and we're basically each other's marketing team, but we have that FaceTime each week to remind each other, hey, that's the person I go to for windows and siding, or that's the person I go to for payroll and stuff. So very much face-to-face. Guys, I'm very social, but I totally still go to networking events. And that actually, Jordan, this segues nicely into your question about how do I use or think of LinkedIn. So when I go to a networking event, guys, business cards are still relevant. You should totally still have business cards.
And get good ones. Don't give away cheap business cards, everybody.
No,
My biggest pet peeve.
I know, right? And I'll have to, as soon as I can, I'll try to find, I know I've got one of mine floating around here. But I've got a little round business card. It looks like a coaster almost. But so anytime I go to a networking event where it's in-person networking, you swap business cards. I go home, and the first opportunity I get to open my laptop, I go in and find those people on LinkedIn. And if they're not on LinkedIn, you get a major side eye from me. But I go find them on LinkedIn and I send them a connection request saying, hi, you and I just met at XYZ networking event. It was great to talk to you. Would you like to connect on LinkedIn and maybe we can grab a coffee sometime?
Yeah.
I always do that. And I will tell you, I do get the connections. Usually I might get out of 10 people 2 coffee appointments, but then you start
that's 2 coffee appointments.
Exactly. And and my big thing, I don't get people who look at a coffee appointment or adding someone as a network to their network as like, oh, that's a waste of time. No, it's not. You have no idea who that person's connected to. What if one of their people they know is a gold mine client for you? You have no clue. But by perpetuating that, you've got them meet in person, get a business card, go connect on LinkedIn, get that relationship rolling. And guys, I'll tell you too, anyone out there who's a job seeker, I got my last 2 corporate jobs before I started my business through LinkedIn, just by virtue of who is in my network. It just means more to people when a recruiter says, okay, not only are you applying to this job, but I see that we know this person in common. Okay, that adds a little more credibility to me for you.
Yeah. I got a question for you, though.
Yeah.
Is your biggest pet peeve, because it's mine, people that send you a let's connect on LinkedIn and never send a personal note that go with it? They just click the button.
Yes. And heads up for that, guys. I don't believe they've fixed this on the mobile app of LinkedIn yet. When you connect with someone on LinkedIn, you want to do it from the browser or from the desktop, because that does allow you the option of adding a note. Okay.
Actually, there is a way to do it on the mobile site.
I'm totally looking it up right now because I want to make sure.
Okay, if you go on your mobile site, because I've just learned this myself, you go to somebody's profile. In the top left-hand corner, there's the 3 dots.
Okay.
If you go down to if you click on those 3 dots, it says connect, and you can add a note there.
Thank goodness. And that's not terribly intuitive, though.
That was somebody that taught me. Actually, shout out to Cher Jones.
Yep.
He was the one who taught me that. She was awesome, and that was a pro tip that she sent me. That was absolutely unbelievable. And
and definitely, so totally add the context for why you're adding them. Even if it's like, hey, I noticed that you're connected to so-and-so on LinkedIn. They happen to be a good friend of mine. Would you be interested in connecting our networks? Even if it's that, instead of I'd be interested in adding you into my network. It's like, oh my God. And last, also, my biggest pet peeve, honestly, and this is on LinkedIn or Twitter, is auto messages. So as soon as you connect with somebody, within the next minute, you get a message for them asking you to look at their ebook.
Yes.
Stop that. That is obviously, I am instantly clued into why you wanted to network with me, because you see a potential sale without even getting to know me. Bye. Don't do that, guys. Come on, that's classless. So that is my biggest pet peeve on LinkedIn and social anyway.
So I'm sure we covered this already, but what do you do to make your best clients feel special?
Sure. I like to give them shout outs on social, and I can do that. I've got enough of a following and really this all comes back to referrals and networking. And I know that seems to be a strong theme today, but it really does matter who you know. And so I like to be that gold mine person for my clients, where they are coming to me for social. But eventually, obviously, social is tied into many things, websites, graphic design, digital marketing, like email marketing, or their IT or their SEO. And those are all things I can hack my way through, but I'm not the greatest person for it. And the last thing I'm going to do for my clients is try to charge them for something I don't really know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Gross.
Fake it till you make it is not the right way.
Not with a paying client, guys. Come on. There are tons of volunteer charities out there who are looking for free work to be done, and you can get that experience you need there first before you start charging money for it. Make sure you're giving value to your clients if they're giving you money.
Yeah.
But I make them feel special I really do try to keep my eye open for improvement. So let's say I do social, like a Facebook marketing for a client. And as we're doing the onboarding, and I get I really connect them to say, you are part of this process. I'm not just going to, be set it and forget it person. I email them weekly to let them know, hey, here's the best post from this week. We're going to try to do more of that. Do you have any questions, anything that you're wondering about? We always want to remind them we're there, remind them we're working on, for them, and that we're here for questions. And I so often get my clients asking me, well, I love what you're doing. I had someone ask me about this. It's not related to social, but I just am not sure what to say. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, if I know the answer, I will give it to you. But if I don't, I've got someone I could connect you to who would be a great resource, and possibly someone who could help you with that. They're not me, and that's okay, but it's someone really good. So I think just providing that help, to let them know.
Absolutely.
It's not just about you paying an invoice and me providing a service. This is a relationship, and I want it to perpetuate and become a long-term thing.
Yeah, it's the long-term view. It's just like, if I can't help somebody, I'm going to go try to either find out the answer,
yes,
or I'm going to try to get them somebody who can fix the problem for them. And
exactly.
I get that. That's the way you make people understand that you're not in it just for, in it for a paycheck.
Exactly.
We all need to sit there and say, you know what? I don't know. And that's okay.
It's totally okay
to say that, especially the world has gotten so complex, and even in social media, you know what? Yeah. There's platforms I know extremely well and things I don't know anything about. And I'd rather bring the right experts in to do the right things at the time.
Yeah. Well, and really with the client, think about that. If they hire me to do their social media marketing, they don't have time to do it, which means their time is a hot commodity.
Yes.
Any entrepreneur is going to be like, yes, it is. And if I'm going to waste your time by trying to stumble and fumble my way through doing something for you, I don't really know what I'm doing. Instead, I could have said, hey, let me save that 2 hours. I'll save you 2 hours and just connect you with someone who knows what they're doing right off the bat. That way I don't have to fumble around. That's a huge win for the client. And that's going to really lead to the referrals that they can generate for you to say, no, Rachel doesn't BS. She tells me what she knows where she doesn't know stuff, but then she gives me someone who does. Thank God, So it is about saving your client time and giving them value every step of the way.
Absolutely. Well, I want to go back to Jordan because he had one question on LinkedIn, and then what I'll do is I'll ask you one final question, and then we can wrap up. So
sure.
Let's take a look at Jordan's question. He was looking at said, what do you use LinkedIn for cold outreach for yourself and for your clients?
And so, what's your process? I do sometimes do some searching on LinkedIn. I haven't used it as a sales tool. I have heard some awesome things about Sales Navigator. So we were just talking about an area where it's not my strongest area. I'm going to be honest, selling cold sales on LinkedIn is not my strongest area. I usually use it as a conduit for more warm connections. But I've tested out Sales Navigator, and I know it's an investment, but my good friend Amy Skillen, she does training on it, and it's dynamite. It's got some major awesome tools in there that will let you create relationships and connections with those sales opportunities. And I say it that way because it's not just about cold messaging people saying, hi, come to me and I'll sell you something.
Exactly.
Or something equitable to that. But so that's what I would try out Sales Navigator, particularly since Microsoft acquired LinkedIn. They've really made some huge changes, I think, for the better. So doing the trial of Sales Navigator, seeing if it works for you is great. And then, if it's worth the investment for you, I would go for it. And then also go look up Amy Skillen. She's awesome on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. It's AIME.
What's her website?
It is sociallanguages.com, I believe, and it's one L. So it's social languages. It shares an L in the middle, so it's not two L's. I believe that's her website.
We're going to assume that. We're going to assume it's sociallanguages.com.
Go with it.
If we're wrong, then get back to us, and we'll be more than happy to find out.
I'll hop in the comments afterward just to make sure. But I want to make sure because she's great. She knows that stuff back and forth.
Yeah, and from my point of view, Jordan, is my attitude is with social is there almost is no such thing as a cold lead anymore. Great. It's the 6th degree of separation. If you're willing to take the time and you're willing to look and to see who are the people we really want to target, and the question is, it's not male, female anymore. You don't want to, everybody's a target and everybody's a customer. No, who specifically are you looking for and why?
Yeah.
What are the things that you can actually add value to, and then go find somebody that you know in your network that knows these people and use your network to help you get an in with the right person. That's the beautiful thing about social media is that people actually feel honored when you sit there and say, could you make a referral to so-and-so? It makes them feel important. And there's nothing wrong with that.
And, you're so able to narrow anything in social, and that's a good business practice anyway. The more narrow you can make your target audience, it's not like you're excluding everyone else from being a potential customer for you. But you're being so much more effective for that particular person. And LinkedIn lets you do that. Facebook and Twitter let you do that. And even what Ben said, you can look up people's profiles on LinkedIn and see what they're involved with. Are they in some groups on LinkedIn? Guess where you should be going? Let me go join that group and start chatting, and let's interact a little bit. So
join the groups, people. Join the groups.
Join the groups.
It is extremely powerful. So last question. It says one last thing, Rachel. What's the one thing you want people to remember about you?
I alluded to it earlier right off the bat. Just remember that I'm a real person and I make mistakes. And my goal in life is that if I can make a mistake and not only learn from it, but help you avoid the mistake, that's what I want you to remember about me. When I first used Periscope, which is a live streaming app on your phone and it's connected to Twitter, I screwed it up. Like I was trying to do a little showcase like, hey, I biked to work. It was bike to work day. So I biked to work. So I was trying to show people, here's the gear I used in case you're looking at commuting to work on your bike. I had the camera wrong. I couldn't figure out how to flip it and, just all these messed up things. So I blogged about it. I said the 5 ways I screwed up my first Periscope. And that was like the best blog post I'd done for like a year.
Absolutely.
But you guys, I think just remember that it's okay to be human. It's okay to mess up. There's nothing more endearing to everyone else on the planet than when you're able to say, look, I'm not perfect. But not only am I not perfect, but you can be hellfire sure I'm going to learn from my errors and do better. And that's what I want people to remember. I mean, every time a social app comes out, I jump in, I try to test it out and figure out how to break it. But then figure out how it works. And then I try to disseminate that. So just know that if I mess up, that just gives me an opportunity to learn something better. Because what is it that saying, the burned hand teaches best? Right then you're like, oh, now I learned that. I will never forget it. And that's how I look at marketing and social media. And like, as soon as I know how something doesn't work, I'll remember how it does work forever.
Well, that's the thing. As long as we all learn from our mistakes.
Yes.
And the beautiful thing about social media is it allows you to make little mistakes, learn from them, and get better. Hey, this is my first show.
Right.
Wait till my 30th or 40th show. You know what? They're going to be much better. They're going to be cleaner. They're going to be better. And you know what? We all improve.
Yes.
And that's the neat thing about life, is to just realize that, you know what? If we go in with the best of intention, if we listen, if we care about other people genuinely, and if we come from the position of trying to help people, you know what? We're all going to be better off.
Totally.
And we're all going to be seen as valuable.
Well, and that drives to every single part of life. You guys, if you have a staff or a team you work with, don't you feel better when you tell them to do something, and instead of trying to hide the fact that they don't know what they're doing or that they made an error, that they just come say, look, I've messed up. I'm so sorry. How can we fix it? That goes so much farther than if they were hiding it or wasting time by trying to get muddled through. And embrace the messy. I love that, what Lori said. Embrace the messy.
That's great. Love it, Lori.
We're all human, and God, think about that. Haven't you had better relationships with people once something wrong happens and you have to confront it and be like, well, now we're closer because we worked through that. Yeah. It's all relational.
That's great. Well, thank you, Rachel.
Of course.
It's been fun. It's been a fun first episode.
Yeah.
I'm loving this. I can't wait to see the repeat and sit there and say, okay, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? And how brilliant was Rachel? It was how brilliant was Rachel.
Thank you guys. So no, it's great I just love watching people and brands start embracing live streaming. As you know, I'm a huge advocate of it, because this is many ways to hack the engagement factor on social media, and live streaming is one of them. And this was a fantastic first effort. I got to say, you are a pro at this.
Well, thank you very much. Well, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to sign off for everybody, and I will be right back at you.
All righty.
So I want to say thank you guys very much for coming on. Every Wednesday, I am going to be doing YourLIVINGBrand.live at 10 o'clock. It's going to be live. It's going to be unpredictable, and we're going to have a lot of fun. Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, I help brands communicate. We're the chief storyteller. That's what we do. We want to tell your story. That's the fun thing in life, is to sit there and say, how do you do it? What do you do? Why do you do it? Who do you do it for? And why do they care? That's the big thing. So join me every week. If I can help you out, you can always reach me at ben@yourbrandmarketing.com. I'll put it up in a second. And by the way, next week, you got a real treat. We're going to be listening to Stan Phelps. Stan is an international speaker. He's incredible, Read his books. The website is purplegoldfish.com. Stan is a friend of mine. He is engaging, fun to listen to, and also he is somebody that's going to teach you a lot. So enjoy that. I'm just going to put up my website, and let's see if we can do this here. All right, there's a technical glitch. We knew there was going to be one in the game. So there's the technical glitch. It's yourbrandmarketing.com. Come and find us. We'd love to talk to you. Love to talk to you about what you do, why you do it, and how we can help you tell your story better. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you next Wednesday at 10 o'clock on yourlivingbbrand.live.